Essentially, I'm trying to play more 18-hole golf courses in a single year than anybody ever has.
Pat, like as I said, I really appreciate time, I'm thoroughly intrigued with what you're doing on this project. It's absolutely phenomenal. So it's really cool chatting to you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to talk about it. I think I talk about it every single day, and I've not yet grown tired of it. So that's a good sign. I mean, I think it's the if I was just playing the same golf course over and over again, I'd be bored out of my mind, and I don't really have the desire to do that. But it's the people that I meet along the way, the places I get to see, and I love golf courses. So every day is I'm at my favorite place in the world on a golf course.
So, Pat, I'm on the other side of the planet. So, for people that might not know who Patrick Koenig is, can you can you just give us a little bit of a rundown? Just tell me what RGV 2.0, but what is it? What are you? Is it just about the record? I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but if you can just tell the layman here in South Africa what you're doing and what it entails.
Well, I think it's about doing something that nobody has ever done before. I think that's what's the exciting part about it. But essentially, I'm trying to play more 18-hole golf courses in a single year than anybody ever has. The current record is 449 different golf courses in a year. They have to be 18 holes. They got to be 6,000 yards. So you can't throw a par three in there and call it a day. You got to go around and a big boy course every day. That's the main thing. So we're also raising money for the First Tee, which is a charitable organization here in the States. I'm not sure if they're international, but what they do is help kids get exposed to the game of golf, teach them how to play, and more importantly, teach them life lessons that golf teaches you. It's very inherent in the sport itself to learning things like patience, perseverance, and all of these different skill sets that you need to succeed on the golf course. It turns out you actually need those to succeed in life. And so when I this is 2.0, when I did 1.0, I had never raised money before, and I just knew that my friend Evan, who's the director of programs out there at the First Tee of Greater Seattle, was great with kids, and he was the sort of guy that I wish I had growing up. And I obviously had some people that were great to me in the game as a kid, but to have this kind of reach more people and reach people that might not have had the game at their fingertips is a cool thing. So I made that a core part of the first tour, and it's obviously a core part of the second tour. We raised over, I think, $16,000 now for local chapters. We're not just doing, it's a big charity, but each one of these chapters is individually run. And so they do need funds for golf clubs, driving range time, green tees, whatever the case may be. And the First Tee does that. So that's another part that we put in there. Another part is inclusivity. I've opened the tour up. When I first did this, I said anybody that wants to be a part of it can, and that still holds true. I do my best to get to everybody, but I'm realizing it's a exhausting task once you reach a certain amount of people. The requests come pouring in, and it's great fun because I love meeting new people and seeing new courses, and I do that every day. There will undoubtedly be some people that I won't be able to come to this year, and that makes me sad. But I'm doing my best to bring everybody along, and it's going to be. I mean, we're two. I played course 208 today, and that puts us on a healthy pace to blow away that record, which is what we want to do. I just want to beat it by one. I want to wake up every day and say, today I'm going to set another world record. Just do that for like a month, which I think would be awesome. And fun for the people that are joining, and everybody that joins is it's their record as well. They're a part of it. Everybody gets a bag tag if they join. We have official tour merch. If you're playing, I've got it in the rear confines of the RGV. All sorts of cool swag that people can, if they donate to the First Tee, they get a head start. Cool like that. So that's another piece that's fun and makes it feel like we're just playing golf, but every round on the RGV tour feels a little special. It's like you're some part of something that's just different than going out hitting the ball around the field.
Amazing. Thanks for that. I mean, you've covered quite a couple of other questions I was going to ask you. So thanks for clearing up the first tee. Just on that note, so how do people contribute to the first tee? I mean, is it is it an online platform? I mean, or is it by participating, playing with you, or how do people contribute?
Yeah, so people can donate however they like. They don't have to play on the tour to donate. We've got a website link that will direct you and donate as much as you like. And then people are donating in person. I think it's more compelling when they're part of it. They're close to it, and they see what it is, what I'm doing. They get a real sense for it, and then they donate as they join the tour. So you don't have to play on the tour or even be in the same country to donate. We've had people from all over the world donate. It's small amounts, which I think is really cool. It's not like we've got a bunch of rich people in a room and we said, hey, here's tee times to play these great golf courses. How much do you want to pay me for them? It's just people giving like $20, So it makes it a cool thing.
So I mean, I've obviously been following you, and as I said, I'm intrigued in that. So, but I just want to go just back a step. I mean, how did you start planning this? I mean, I'm talking about the 2.0. I mean, it must be actually, I mean, obviously, logistically, you've got to have some kind of routing because it doesn't make sense. America's a big place. But how did you start planning this, and how long did it take you? What are the challenges, the cost implications? Are the clubs quite engaging with you? Are they looking forward to you, or they want you part of the series? How does it give us a bit of a background to how you put it together?
Yeah, so I mean, I can start with the formation of the idea, and it really came out of desire to see all the great golf courses in the world, which is a lifelong task. I will run out of golf, or I'll take my last breath before I see all the places that I want to see. And so that was kind of the idea. And then I was like, well, what's the best way to do that? Because if you get on a plane and you fly someplace, maybe if it's a long trip, you play, I don't know, a dozen courses. It's not going to do it. So I said, well, if you were in an RV, you can just go, because in America, we've got great golf courses everywhere you look. 2 hours, you got another hidden gem or a major championship venue or top 100 golf course. They're all over the place. And so I was like, well, if you had an RV, you could do that. And that was, I don't know, I had that idea 15 years ago. So eventually I did have enough. And I started planning it. And I quit my job in 2018 and just jumped off and said, I'm going to go for it, see if I can turn this into some sort of career in golf or whatever it was. I was a software sales guy before then and just spending all my disposable income on golf trips. And so I did that in 2018, funded the thing myself. We raised money for the first seed. It was great. And that really taught me a thing or two about what it takes to plan something like this. So 2.0 came around. It always kind of stuck in my mind that on the first tour, I played about 400 courses. And that's counting par threes, and I even made up my own course, and I do that into the number. So it's a loose number. But somebody about halfway through mentioned the world record was only 449. And I was like, well, I can do that. 449. I was close. So but it didn't bother me because that wasn't my goal. My number one goal on the first one was to have fun. I did that. So, and so that remains the a key thing is this has got to be fun. Otherwise, people are going to enjoy watching it. If it's not fun, why am I doing it? Yeah. So I started kind of putting down things I would do differently, and I put it all down into a business plan as I did the first one. And that's when my partner, Golf Gamebook, we had a conversation. Timu over there eagerly watched the first tour, and he said, what about 2.0? And I was like, well, it's funny. I just wrote down a business plan for it, not even a month ago. And so after that first call, it was on. We can use the app for events that I have. It's a great, just from like the day to day, I enter all my scores, it's GPS, and I can share some social stuff on there as well. So it's perfectly tailored for this sort of endeavor. That's when the real planning took place. It's like, all right, now we're going to play. The goal is to play 500 different golf courses. how do we go about doing that? And it's what I've done is throughout I did states and dates. It kind of broke up the each state here in America by like a week or something, and then you start putting courses in, and I have certain things that are like milestones, that I've got to be at. I'm a golf course photographer, so I'm taking pictures of all these places as I go. And so I had a couple commitments to do photo shoots at courses. So I was like, oh, that's great. We'll put that one down at Riverton. So I know I've got to be in New Jersey by this point in time. And so you kind of connect the dots. And as people reach out and say, hey, come visit this place or this place, some of those fall perfectly into line. And some of those people I go to search out. I go to them and I go to the places where golf is played in America, which turns out is just about everywhere, especially after COVID. Everybody seems to have a golf addiction. And so this one, the tee times are tougher to get. There's more people playing, which is great. So I think there's some interest in renewed interest and some new eyes. People that haven't been following me for a long time have kind of tuned in to check out what I'm up to this year. And it's challenging. I mean, because it never ends. It never ends. Just today, the goal is to stay maybe 2 weeks out with tee times, so I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. But for example, today, I played in the morning and I had time for an impromptu round. So I asked the guys in the shop, where should I play? And they gave me a place over in west of St. Louis where I went to play this afternoon. So I got 36 in today. And then I was coordinating kind of some last minute stuff and throw in another day at 36. It was just 18, and that will continue for the entire year. It won't stop. And so that'll be once that's done with the planning, I'll be a happy guy. The planning is fun and exciting to get some of these courses on, but it's also very, very challenging. By far the most time consuming and challenging efforts because I want to see all the places. So getting on some of the private courses here in America is not easy. I don't necessarily call them up and say, hey, I want to bring my RV out there and park it in your parking lot. Some places are saying, come on out. Some places like, we love what you're doing, where you're raising money for the first tee. We got a local chapter. Let's do an event. And some people are amazing, but not everybody. I mean, that's how private clubs are, right? So they have their agenda and their way of running their golf course, and I'm not out to infringe on that in any way. But members that think it's cool invite me out to play their place, and hopefully there's a spot in the parking lot of some of these clubs, which I've found just about everyone I can fit into. Sometimes I've got to take over, but that's only happened once or twice so far.
No, that's super cool because I don't know why, but my next question was what an average day looks like. But I love it that there is so much flexibility, and it's not there's the itinerary, there's the schedule, and that's where I have to be at that time. And that so it sounds super cool that things can change, as you say on today, that you played 36 instead of the scheduled 18, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's by design. I mean I guess I don't even know if I could go in and block it out and plan it down to the day and the tee times for the entire year. It's just not possible because somebody invites me out to play Diamond Creek. That came through a friend introduced me to a member. And it's a great golf course in North Carolina, and I was like, I don't want to say no to that. But these are other people that you have to consider their schedules as well. Okay. And so I got to have the ability to have that flexibility. He can't set, he's not going to set a tee time maybe a week beforehand. So that I have to kind of figure in, and it's fun. It's fun. The flexibility makes it that way. So the adventure is always there. Somebody says, "Hey, you want to do this? I know this and this," and if I say no, that's it's all about saying yes. I'm not very good at saying no.